Welcome back. Time for Talk of the Table, one of two segments of Talk of the Table we're going to have in tonight's program. We're going to begin with a question of justice. A father in Texas, he admitted to fatally beating a man that he caught molesting his 4-year-old daughter on Saturday. However, the man has not been charged with anything, and frankly, it doesn't sound like police are looking to investigate. When asked whether they could press charges, the local sheriff said, quote, "You have a right to defend your daughter." He acted in defense of his third person, and it does appear as though this is allowed under Texas law. Now, we've certainly seen other controversial cases where somebody has ended up dead in the result of a confrontation. Anybody have any problems or any concerns that maybe this needs a little investigating beyond what's been done already?
It's my understanding the father walked in on apparently part of this. And if that is indeed the case, I mean, I say bravo to the father.
What father wouldn't do that?
I mean, what father wouldn't do it? I'm not saying vigilante justice, but if you walk in on your 4-year-old daughter being molested, what father is not going to do that?
And it's Texas.
This is a slight difference, but it's not like he pulled out a gun or I mean, he beat the man to death with his hands. That's showing that the rage continued and continued and continued.
And how would it shut down? I mean, this is an image he's going to have to live with for the rest of his life. Certainly his daughter will have to live with that experience, but this is an image he's going to have to live with for the rest of his life. That clearly is driving the anger.
Okay, that was just a warm-up.
I have to agree. I'm sorry.
Fair enough. Fair enough that we don't always have to disagree. We still like to bring these topics up. All right, next up, texting money to a candidate. It may be the next wave of campaign contributions. The Federal Election Commission just voted unanimously to allow individuals to make political contributions via text message. Donations are capped at $10 a text and $50 a month. The campaigns of both Obama and Romney have submitted letters to the FEC in support of this texting proposal. When I first heard this, my first thought was, well, you could text hurricane relief fund or disaster relief fund to the Red Cross, so this doesn't seem much different, though it does make it easier to send money and maybe to sneak past some of those limits that we have on campaign contributions.
I'm just shocked that both campaigns supported this. That was the biggest thing, yes, that they agreed to do this. I mean, this is absolutely, late in coming, quite frankly. People have been texting, as you said, contributions of all kinds, and you know that the campaigns were next. And of course, I think you're right. I mean, I think it's a chance probably to get around some of these campaign limits, even though they're setting this $50 limit.
I think it's generally fine. Certainly the technology is there and it can make it safe and easy to do. I just worry, just me being cynical, that we're getting to a place in our political lives where the candidate doesn't have to do anything, because you can send your money, you can do everything you need to do from the comfort of your own home. And so will the candidate at some point, that he doesn't actually have to go, he or she doesn't have to actually go out and touch people and convince people.
Anything that promotes the smaller guy, us being involved in the political process, I support, as opposed to someone that walks in and writes $1 million check.
Right. Yeah. Well, let me add this wrinkle to it, because a text message, you're not signing a credit card, you're not giving your credit card numbers over, you send a text message and it's going to wind up on your bill. And that's how it gets paid. Any concerns that making it that easy, or that I could, sneak onto Dominic's phone and donate on his phone to a candidate that Dominic wouldn't support?
Let's see if I have my phone here.
Is there?
Sure. No, there's certainly a lot of pitfalls to that, and that's why I'm just hoping that there are protections in place.
There has to be.
There has to be. I can see a lot of people taking advantage of it, though, quite frankly.
All right, we're gonna cut away and go to Lower Manhattan. President Obama is speaking now at One World Trade Center, or near One World Trade Center. Let's take a listen to what the president is saying. All right, so perfect timing on our part there. You got the smattering of applause for the president at Ground Zero as he walks through with some of the construction workers. By the way, construction workers and other workers at Ground Zero are getting a boost lately in a loosening of the definitions of the cancers that could be related to their service at Ground Zero. So I'm sure that is one of the subjects that is coming up for the president. All right, back to our Talk of the Table segment, as we put the text messaging down. And this one is titled More Money, More Problems. That apparently a song title by P. Diddy. Well, Diddy's song with the notorious B.I.G. certainly proved to be somewhat prophetic. Lots of controversy over a football scholarship for Diddy's son, Justin. He got a full ride to UCLA to be on the football team. Good for him. Not so good for the next guy who didn't get a scholarship. And it's got some people wondering, Should the son of somebody worth $500 million, at least according to CelebrityNetWorth.com, which is my one-stop resource for all the celebrity net worth data, should the son of somebody worth $500 million get a full athletic scholarship to college, or you could even extend the debate and make it even an academic scholarship to college? We have two college
yeah,
professors.
and I say this not because he's a Gale. You know, he went to Iona Prep, and so I have to confess that he's one of us. But I do think that, you cannot hold somebody to their parents' wealth. This is a kid who worked very hard. Thank you, Dominic. This is a kid who worked very hard to get a scholarship. Yes, his father is successful, and yes, his father is very wealthy. And yes, I hope as he gains his own individual wealth, he contributes to all those people who are in need, and hopefully he will. His father certainly has. But, to hold this kid accountable and say you can't win a scholarship because your father is wealthy, I think is crazy. I agree with his mother. He deserves the scholarship. He earned it, and he should get it.
He did. Absolutely, he earned a scholarship. He should get it. I do think about two things. One, I agree that the young man should get the scholarship because he did earn it. But I also think about the sort of legacy of wealth and privilege and how that's passed down. You don't want to change the rules in the middle of the game. So what's good for other communities in the past should be good for African American communities, Latino communities that all of a sudden are now extraordinarily wealthy and are moving into the middle class. And we can have these stories about people of color. So you can't change the rules in the middle of the game. And so I support the young man getting the scholarship. However, yep. I do strongly believe, just as a person that's involved in education that is trying to get a lot of our kids into college in one way, shape, or form, that with the lack of philanthropy, of black philanthropy, that his father should be giving some money somewhere.
I was thinking the same thing. It would be great if he set up a scholarship, an academic scholarship.
At least the amount of the scholarship that his son got.
But what is the purpose of these scholarships, either athletic or academic, to colleges? Is it to reward them for their performance up until that point, or is it to maintain or bring in as wide a group and as diverse a group and as talented a group as you possibly can to an institution?
In terms of both academic and athletic scholarships, it's to bring in the best that you can. I mean, this is how schools make their name. This is how they make their money. This is how they sustain themselves. And this kid earned his way. And I agree, it would be nice if his father did that. Let's hope he does. But to hold this 18-year-old kid responsible for what his father does not do, I think that's insanity.
But by that basis, couldn't Justin Bieber get a full scholarship to college because he brings a great name and he
okay,
sure.
but Justin Bieber
wealthy.
couldn't even walk on a football field. Yeah. I mean, let's keep in mind what we're talking about.
Scholarship.
This is a football scholarship. This kid proved that he's one of the best in the country out of thousands of athletes to justify this type of scholarship. And you better believe UCLA officials thought long and hard about this, knowing the brushback they would receive. But I agree with both of you, but some of my friends have said, Dominic, I'm surprised that you would support this.
Dominic,
this
I'm
means
surprised that you would support this.
I'm aghast.
This means that there's some kid, probably some black or Latino kid, that will now not be able to go to UCLA on scholarship because this wealthy kid has taken one of the last scholarships. That's not my position. That's what my friends say.